I didn't mean to hit her. But when I stepped out of the car and saw her lying on the empty road, eyes wide open, staring straight at me, I knew she wasn't scared of dying. She was scared of who was standing behind me. I've lived in Pine Hollow my entire life, a town so small you could drive through it in 7 minutes flat, 12 if Mrs. Haggerty's cows decide to wander onto Miller Road again. Outsiders call it peaceful, locals call it predictable. I used to like predictable, until tonight. It was 11:42 p.m. when I turned off from Route 9 onto Willow Creek Road, the long stretch leading toward my cabin. No streetlights, no traffic, just darkness pressing against my windshield and the steady hum of my old Ford. I was replaying the argument I'd had earlier at Mickey's Diner, the one place open past 10. Sheriff Dalton had been there. So had half the town. And so had he, Trent Walker, the guy who spent high school making my life hell and apparently hadn't outgrown the hobby. He'd made some comment about me still being alone after all these years, and before I could stop myself, I told him to choke on his beer. The whole diner went silent. Dalton had stepped in, told me to go home and cool off. So I did. I left angry, distracted. That's when it happened. At first, I saw nothing but fog swirling over the asphalt. Then, movement. A figure, small, running across the road. I slammed the brakes and heard the scream of tires against wet pavement. The impact was soft, not the brutal collision I'd feared, more like hitting a stack of blankets. But still, I hit someone. My heartbeat drowned out every other sound. No, no, no. I threw the door open and stumbled into the cold night air. A girl, maybe 16, lay on the road. Curly brown hair, thin frame, face pale but eyes wide open, staring directly at me. Not blinking, not crying, not even afraid. Just frozen, like she'd seen worse than getting hit by a car. "I'm so sorry, can you hear me?" My voice cracked. I knelt beside her, reaching out, but she didn't move. Then I saw it. Her gaze wasn't on me. It was focused over my shoulder. At first, I thought she was in shock, hallucinating, but instinct made me turn. There, about 20 feet away, half hidden behind a cluster of trees, stood a tall, shadowed figure. Motionless, watching. The girl's lips parted. Barely a whisper. "Don't. Let him take me." Before I could react, before I could even breathe, the unknown figure took one slow step forward. And I realized I wasn't the danger here. I was the witness. For a second, I forgot how to move. My breath turned to ice in my lungs as the figure stepped further into the beam of my headlights. His face was still hidden beneath a hood, but I could tell he wasn't surprised to see me. He'd been expecting this. "Hey," I shouted, though my voice wavered. "Stay right there. I already called the police." Lie. I hadn't even touched my phone. He tilted his head slightly, like he was amused. Then slowly, he raised his hands. Not in surrender. In warning. As if telling me to back away. The girl beside me trembled, gripping my wrist with surprising strength. "Don't let him take me back," she whispered again. "Take her back? To where? To who?" Before I could ask anything else, the man turned and calmly disappeared into the trees. No rush, no panic, just gone. "Hey!" I yelled, taking one step after him. "Don't!" the girl hissed, clutching at me. "If he goes quiet, it means he'll come back louder." I didn't understand what that meant, but the fear in her voice froze me more than his presence had. 5 minutes later, she could stand, thank God. Just a bruised knee and a scraped elbow. But she refused to let go of my sleeve. "What's your name?" I asked, helping her to the passenger seat of my truck. She hesitated. "Lily." "Okay, Lily, I'm Ava Hartley. I'm gonna take you to the police station." "No!" Her voice cracked like a breaking branch. "You can't take me there. He'll get me before we even reach town." "That man, who is he? Your father? Your kidnapper? Someone else?" Her eyes glistened with instant tears, but she didn't answer. I took a steadying breath. "Look, I need to call Sheriff Dalton." "No cops. she said, softer this time. Please, I ran away. But I shouldn't have. They'll take me back, and he will be waiting. I stared at her. She wasn't just scared. She was trained to be scared. Before I could respond, a metallic tap struck the rear windshield. Tap, tap, tap. I turned to look. Something was stuck against the glass. A note, pinned with a hunting knife. My hands trembled as I opened the door and approached it. Moonlight glinted off the blade. The paper fluttered slightly in the breeze. 3 words were scrawled across it in uneven, jagged ink. She is mine. The note still fluttered in the wind when I yanked the knife from my windshield. My hands shook, not from fear anymore, but from something fiercer. Rage. I stormed back to the truck, knife in hand. Lily watched me, wide-eyed. What did it say? She whispered. I swallowed hard. Nothing you need to worry about. Because I would. I tossed the knife on the passenger floor and turned the key. The engine roared to life. But before I could shift into gear, a voice, calm and low, came from behind my truck. Ava Hartley. I froze. He said my name. I turned slowly. He stood in the center of the road now, hood down, face visible in the headlights. Sharp jaw, cold eyes, late 30s, unfazed, confident, like a hunter who'd already set the trap. Step away from the girl, he said. She doesn't belong to you. She doesn't belong to anyone, I snapped, least of all you. His lips curled, amused. You always did have a temper, still throwing punches before asking questions. My blood went cold. He knew me. Who are you? He took a step forward. Someone who understands things you don't. That girl, she's dangerous. You have no idea what she's done. I glanced at Lily. She shook her head frantically, tears streaming. She's a child, I said. She's a liability, he replied. That was it. I floored the gas. The truck lunged forward. He dove aside. I swerved, sending gravel flying, skidding to a halt inches from the trees. Stay here, I told Lily. Ava, lock the doors. I jumped out, gripping the hunting knife. The man was already back on his feet, walking toward me with eerie calm. You think you're saving her, he said. You're just delaying what's coming. Funny, I said, holding the blade firm. I was about to say the same thing to you. He smirked. You won't stab me. Watch me, I charged. He reached for something. Maybe a gun, maybe another blade. But adrenaline surged through me like wildfire. I slammed into him, knocking him backward. He hit the ground hard. I pinned him with my knee to his chest, knife at his throat. His voice was steady. Do it, prove me right. You're just like me. For a heartbeat, I almost believed him. Then, a small trembling hand wrapped around mine. Not to stop me, to steady me. Lily's voice, soft but certain. You're not like him. I looked down at her and bruised, terrified but brave enough to stand beside me. Slowly I lowered the knife. Then I grabbed the man's arm, yanked it behind his back, and jammed his face into the dirt. Lily, I said, breathless. Get my phone. Call Sheriff Dalton. The man snarled. You're making a mistake. Maybe, I said, pressing my knee harder into his spine. But at least I can live with it. His reply came in a hiss. This isn't the end. I leaned closer. No, I whispered. It's the start of yours. Epilogue. 2 weeks later, Sheriff Dalton called it self-defense with a side of righteous fury. Turns out our mystery man was part of a private, off-the-books correctional group that believed in reclaiming runaway teens by force. Lily stayed with Child Protective Services, but she calls me every night. Says she sleeps better knowing I'm on the other end of the phone. As for me, I don't drive down Willow Creek Road anymore, but sometimes late at night, I clean the hunting knife he left behind, just in case someone else ever thinks they can claim what isn't theirs. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.